Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Tilting Ground Notre Dame USC football podcast. I'm Michael Muto here with Notre Dame expert Greg Famong. Greg, how's it going?
I'm salty, Michael.
What are you salty about?
I'm in a bad mood.
What?
I can't get over this Notre Dame schedule situation.
I mean, which one? Because the schedule is through 2021 or something came out.
Well, I don't care about that.
Are there hot eighth grade prospects you're worried about? Or
No.
Okay.
That part of it I'm not as concerned about. By the way, full disclosure, you might hear in the background some rattling or what have you. I am washing the bottles.
That's great podcasting.
For
the
the
listeners
boy.
appreciate that.
Well,
Also, full disclosure, we're on a time crunch. The power may go out on Greg at
the
any
power
moment.
may go out in our house. They're cutting out the power in our neighborhood at 9:00. It's going to be like intermittent, so it's pretty awesome. But yeah, my wife's out of town.
Ooh.
And, I've had the kids for the last 2 days, so and I would normally just, I would just throw this stuff in the dishwasher, but the dishwasher isn't going to work because there's no power. So
Correct.
So yeah, but we
Modern
move on.
life.
We press on.
Anyways, you're salty about the schedule. Tell me about the schedule.
So here's the thing. It's partly the schedule and partly just something that bugs me about Notre Dame in general. So Notre Dame they're an independent, right?
Yes.
They're not in a conference. They don't have those kind of constraints. They can do whatever they want. And I've long said, and I don't know if I've said it on this podcast, but I've said it before, like, in my opinion, if Notre Dame really, really wanted to win a national championship and was going to do everything that they could to make it happen, they would. They could do it. I am a believer in something that I heard on a Navy SEAL documentary, their training. And one of the instructors says is that winning is a conscious decision. And I think that is true just in life. And if Notre Dame wanted to say, you know what, we are going to keep our academic, standards the way that they are. We are going to demand that our players, graduate in 4 years, blah, 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 blah. They can keep all that. They can. Nothing prevents them from going out and finding the best strength program in college football. Nothing prevents them from having the best weight room. Nothing prevents them from having the best facilities, nutrition program. They could hire as many social media people as they want, as many recruiting analysts as they want. They can do it. They choose not to, and that's bugged me. And I actually wrote an article about it last year. It's like, hey, when are you guys going to catch up? When are you going to start leading from the front on this stuff?
It's like Oregon's this dog and pony show out in the Pacific Northwest, and they have all the best stuff. Why can't Notre Dame do it?
Right. Why can't you guys be innovators in this way? It's like even when they signed with they left Adidas and they went with Under Armour. It's like, look, Under Armour's fine, okay? It's second rate, okay? It's not Nike, all right? It isn't. And you could go with Nike, but you choose not to because, you don't want to go with the total conglomerate. And that's
you might be out of touch. The kids might like the Under Armour.
They don't.
Okay.
Kevin Durant got it right on his podcast. Like, Under Armour is not. Nike is where it's at.
Yeah,
in everything.
Kevin Durant, that's.
I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, I don't know. I'm a big Nike guy. So
Me too. Just full disclosure.
Yeah, like, it's the best stuff. It just is. So, that's how I feel about it.
USC is Nike if we're scoring at home.
They are Nike. And here's the thing. So there's that backdrop, okay? That's how I feel about the program in general. They've done better. Like, they finally got field turf. They finally got a Jumbotron. And, they renovated the stadium, right? So they're doing better. Then they come out with this schedule that is just an abomination. It's an absolute farce of what they're trying to do to their program, and I don't understand it. And for people who don't know, who haven't followed, so, okay, first of all, Notre Dame has decided that it's too important to them to play a game in California every single year. So they are going to end the season every single year on the road, either at USC or at Stanford.
Okay.
If they're ever in playoff contention, just know that to get into the playoffs, they're going to have to win on the road on Thanksgiving weekend at USC or at Stanford.
Now, why can't they alternate with Stanford?
They do, but they also alternate with USC. That's the thing.
Oh, so they keep it. Okay, I see what you're saying.
So when they play Stanford at home, they play USC on the road and vice versa.
But why can't they just make it the second to last game? Why do they have to make it the last one?
I don't know. Because obviously it doesn't work for someone. But it's like, you know what? Why can't Notre Dame just say, you know what, Stanford? This situation is not working out for us, and we're an independent. So we want to end the season on the road at home one time. And if it doesn't work for you, then we're going to find someone else.
And we'll play San Diego State.
Yeah, you can play anyone. That's the thing. This is their choice. But anyway, so that's what they've decided, and that's the way it is. So this year, coming into 2018, they decide that it's a good idea to take one of their home games, the last home game of the season against Syracuse, and make it a Shamrock Series game and play it in Yankee Stadium.
Now, they always play a Shamrock Stadium game somewhere weird every year, right?
No, well, they skipped it. They skipped it last year. So they didn't have a Shamrock Series game last year.
Didn't they play like Navy somewhere weird last year?
No, they played Navy at home.
I thought they did. Okay.
No, they skipped this year. It happened. They wore weird uniforms. That's why you think that.
All right.
So you take away the home game and you play in the same state as your opponent. Now, why is this a good idea? As it turns out, now that you take away this home game, Notre Dame has one home game in October and one
physical home game, because on the schedule it's a home game.
Yeah. One physical home game. They play
in Indiana.
They play in Notre Dame Stadium one time in October and one time in November, and that's it.
I'd also like to point out it's not like they're playing the Shamrock Series game in Texas where it's warm. They're going to another cold weather place.
Exactly, where it's not even like that. It's a recruiting advantage. You know, it'd be one thing if it's like, hey, you know, we're going to Texas where there's a lot of recruits, or we're going
Florida,
Chicago, or we're going Florida somewhere.
Hopefully they can recruit in Chicago.
No, but the point is like why are you going to New York? What's in New York for you? Nothing. There's nothing there.
That major media market, get that TV money.
Oh, I mean, obviously that I don't. Whatever it is, it's not to the benefit of the football program trying to win a national championship. That's the whole point of it. You're handicapping your team, and you're making it like this doesn't help. It doesn't.
Like, why can't they do it earlier in the season or spread it out and not go 3 road games? There's 3 games away from home in a row.
How about you say, you know what? We're just not going to do it anymore because we're trying to win a national title, and these gimmick games where we get to wear weird uniforms that Under Armour gets to come up with their little design. And you know, it's a little show. It's not important. It's not. Winning is important. It's more important than all of that. And this doesn't help. It doesn't. They go from, let me see if I get this right. I'm just going to look it up.
Okay.
Because the amount of travel that they have to do.
Yeah, it's not good.
In the last 5 weeks is insane. And I don't know.
Especially in the last 5 weeks.
Why would you have, especially for a team that struggles down the stretch? They struggle every year coming home in November. Everyone's talking about it. And their response was, well, why don't we just fly them all over the country? That seems like a great idea. I'm just going to pull this up because it makes me very upset. Okay, so Notre Dame, starting in October 6th, they fly to Blacksburg, back to Notre Dame, then to San Diego, then to Evanston, then Notre Dame, then the Bronx, then Los Angeles. They fly to California twice.
It's crazy.
It's unbelievable. So, it's just you're not helping anything. You're not helping anything.
No.
There's no way the players want it. There's no way Brian Kelly wants it. No one wants it.
Maybe Brian Kelly wants it.
He doesn't. There's no way he wants it. Why would he want that?
I don't know. Maybe he thinks it gives him a recruiting advantage somewhere. Maybe they could pay the players more if they get more money in their coffers.
6 home games. 6 home games, 5 road, 1 neutral. Crazy. And the neutral site game is in the state of the team you're playing.
In the cold. Don't forget that.
Yeah. I just don't, Right
Yeah,
after
I'm sorry you have to deal with that, Greg.
Right after you played Florida State.
Seems reasonable.
All right, let's get to this awards.
All right, so we're shaking things up this year. Usually the last podcast of the season we give out awards. We decided to change it up, and we're going to do it after the regular season. We're giving out our yearly awards. I want to do a caveat to the loyal listeners. I went back, listened to last year's award show, so I know all the old winners, and it was a joyous time. I think the pressure of a national title chase just really weighed on Greg and I. And I listened to that podcast, and Greg had let go of the 4-8 season and was just in a good mood. I was excited because the Rose Bowl had just happened. It was a joyous ride. Our awards that we gave out were pertinent to the coming season, to this past season. If you just want to take a listen to season 2, episode 20, we had some great predictions. I'll kind of sprinkle in through here and there. It was probably one of our better podcasts, Greg. So good job, us.
Great.
Yeah. No, we did good. Yeah. So there's some news and notes throughout the week that I think we also can sprinkle into this podcast, like All-Americans and things like that. So let's kick it off with we're going to stick with the old names. So
okay,
this is the How Old Is He Award, Best True Freshman.
Best True Freshman. Okay.
How old is he?
You didn't put that on when you texted me. You didn't put.
I did.
I was like,
what is the last one? I went in reverse order. The list I gave you was in reverse order.
That's no, but you just said best.
Well, while you think about it, I'm going to tell you who won last year. And Greg and I were talking about these very 2 players earlier in the day before we talked about the awards. It was Notre Dame defensive back Julian Love and USC third-team All-American Jack Jones. That's right. And Greg said, we compared the stats, and a non-biased party would say that Julian Love, better player. However, Jack Jones, in the vein of Adoree Jackson, is getting national honors as a DB at USC. Well, and we love Jack Jones here at the Tilting Ground Untitled Notre Dame USC Football Podcast. And I'm just glad that we can see the writing on the wall with Mr. Jones.
I just want to say, it's not, I don't know if Jack Jones is a better player or not. That's for someone else to decide. But Julian Love had objectively a much better season.
We did the, player A, player B blind comparison.
Julian Love had 22 more tackles.
Julian Love scored touchdowns, man.
He had 2 pick sixes. He had 1 less interception, and he had 20 passes defense, which was top 3 in the country. I don't want to talk about it too much, but
I just think this is the Jack Jones season because we started the USC segment of our season preview talking about him, and he's just a lightning rod for conversation. I appreciate Jack Jones. Anyways, Greg, I'll do mine. Well, if you still don't have one yet, the USC true freshman of the year. When I first tried to do this, I couldn't think of someone. Then I'm like, this is stupid. Obviously, it's Stephen Carr. He was Pac-12 honorable mention at running back. So clearly, he has to be the USC true freshman of the year.
Yeah.
The first couple games he played in, he was electric. He got a little banged up. He played okay in Stanford until he fumbled. But, hey, I can't wait to see more of Stephen Carr.
That's an easy one. I could have done that one.
This one's tough.
Mine is not fun, but it's obvious. It's Robert Hainsey, the right tackle.
That's not fun.
It's not fun, but
It's good. It's good, you know?
he started. I mean, he didn't start, but he played in every single game. Like he rotated every other series every week. I mean, and like the offensive line was the best part of the team. So it's like if you're a key player on the best unit on the team, you win the award. I mean, no one likes the lineman. That's not fun, but that's just
No, everyone likes a lineman.
I gotta do it.
And speaking of everyone
Fair.
likes a lineman, the next award, the Robert Mays Trophy for best lineman, offensive or defensive.
Okay.
Greg, who's the Notre Dame best
Incredibly,
lineman?
incredibly. I bet a year ago at this time, you listened. I'll bet you I had some not very nice things to say about this person a year ago today. But the
Okay.
winner is Jerry Tillery, defensive line.
I don't think you mentioned Jerry Tillery until later in the podcast
Last time?
of last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it probably wasn't for winning some sort of positive award. So he is the winner. He had 52 tackles. I think it was 8.5 tackles for loss. Led the team in sacks. He had about 10 quarterback hurries. And the way I look at it is those numbers were all better than that of 2012 nose tackle Lewis Nix, who's pretty much the gold standard as far as nose tackles during the Kelly era. So Jerry Tillery bested those numbers, and full credit, man. He wins the award for me.
I'd like to make a note to any NFL personnel men are listening. This is the second year in a row that we have not named one of Notre Dame's All-American offensive linemen, left tackle and left guard, as the best lineman.
That's coming later.
Okay, sorry, I stepped on it. My bad.
Wait for it.
Okay, all right. Because Mike McGlinchey didn't win last year. You nominated Jerron Jones.
I didn't think he was that good.
I know. I don't either.
Okay.
Let's see. USC. I'd like to give it to no one. However, who did I pick here? I didn't write it down. Good job, me. I got to give it to. I can't give it to the defense. I got to go Toa Lobodon. He was the only, he was the most consistent guy. When he didn't play Washington State, USC lost. It's not a fun award. It's not great. The USC defensive line bothered me all season long. I feel like they didn't really get their feet under them until like 3/4 of the way through the season. So we'll give it to the O-line. Whatever. Not sexy. Next.
Yep. Not fun, but facts are facts.
All right. This is the Lance Harbor Memorial Cup. Injury that had the most impact on your team. I'll go first.
Okay.
For USC, I'm going Porter Gustin. He
good one.
was supposed to be an impact player all year long. It kind of stretched the defense a little thin, not having that predator position going 100%. They had different guys go in. Different guys got hurt playing. It's supposed to be the strong point of the defense, and it was somewhere where there was rotation all season long. So I'd like to see a healthy Porter Gustin next year.
That's a good pick. I was thinking you could have said Stephen Carr even for this one.
That's true, but he isn't a starter, so.
I know, but not having him, like he's such a threat out of the backfield.
Like, he was their best receiver for the first 3 games of the season.
Yeah, like I'm very thrilled that he didn't play against Notre Dame this year. So ours is difficult in that no one was really – they didn't really suffer like a big injury. Like they had a bunch of like knick-knacky injuries throughout the year, but none of the key players like ever really got hurt.
Right.
So I'm going to like – I guess cheat a little bit, and I'm going to say the combination of Josh Adams and Dexter Williams like never really being healthy together.
That's true. Josh Adams got hurt.
He got hurt a lot, but he never really like missed games. And then like the games that they lost, he was basically healthy. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
He didn't mentally play well.
it's hard to say like against like Miami or Stanford, and even then, like I don't know if like Dexter Williams, was he hurt in those games, or they just didn't want to give him the ball? But I feel like just from a like it's a shame that Josh Adams never broke like the season rushing record or the single game, because it was there for him like 5 times early in the season. It never happened. So I'm just going to say those, like the running game broke down at the end, and I'm going to say it was due to in small part to the fact that Josh Adams broke down a little bit too. So
okay, all right, that's fair.
Thank you.
That is fair. So the next award, the Shane Falco Award for best backup. Greg, who is Notre Dame's best backup?
This is another hard one, because if people aren't getting hurt, then and they're not having to fill in or anything, like I'm
like a rotation guy or something.
Yeah, like I'm inclined to
as
say,
a fan of the team, you know how they use their players. You know who the backups are.
I'm inclined to say this is kind of a weird one. I'm going to say Khalid Kareem, because he's a defensive end, and he came on at the end of the year. He never started, but he was always like at the end of the year, he was the best defensive lineman that wasn't one of the starters.
That's perfect for the award.
Yeah, so he didn't do anything like super flashy, but he did make some plays, in games throughout the season. So, that's what I'm going to go with. Khalid Kareem.
All right, Khalid Kareem. Mine, I think it might be controversial as a backup now, but he did not start the season. He had a little heat for not starting from his dad.
Ah, there you go.
And it's Michael Pittman Jr. He has come on of late. I think he's revitalized the receiving core for USC. He had a big game against Stanford. He had a big game the game before that. And he didn't start all year. I am still unsure of the receiver rotation at USC, so I'm going to consider him a backup. It's Michael Pittman Jr. for best backup. Last year's were receivers. It was a Deontay Burnett, so he kind of started towards the end of the year.
Yeah,
so I feel like it's in the same vein.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, best backup. I don't think USC had a lot of backups similar to Notre Dame.
Yeah, I think
like the D-line guys, I guess, but
But they did.
All right, here we go.
Do that great.
This is a fun one. I'm not sure what your answer is going to be. Tell you the truth. So I'm going to go first. So this is the Sports Center Play of the Year. So some combination of important / athletic ability / moment / remembering. And the first one that popped into my head was Michael Pittman Jr.'s punt return against UCLA, but that's not it. That's not the one, because there are much better plays.
That's a good one, though.
That was recency bias, though.
Yeah.
It could have been Sam Darnold winning the Texas game. That wasn't it, but it was from that game. It was right before halftime when Ronald Jones, USC gives up a dumb interception. Texas scores. USC has the ball back with like 5 seconds left. They do some dump off pass to Ronald Jones. Boom, touchdown. That was great. I think that was one of the better Ronald Jones plays of the year. It was fun because you didn't see it coming. It's not like a USC thing to do, to try to score before the half. Actually, they probably weren't even trying to score before the half. It was just his athletic ability that got them there.
Okay.
Greg, Notre Dame's Sports Center Play of the Year.
Mine is I'm going to do an honorable mention just because I have to bring it up on the podcast. Honorable mention Play of the Year is Josh Adams' 77-yard run against USC.
Nice.
After USC made it 35-14. It just is one of those things where it was like, this is going to happen. USC is not coming back, and they're going to mash them.
It was so memorable, I didn't actually see it. I stepped away for 15 seconds.
Like, it just, like, first play, it's the first play after USC scored, and it was like, oh man, they're gonna come back, they're gonna make a game of this, and then Notre Dame shut the door right away, untouched, right up the middle.
Nope.
That made me very happy. But the play of the year is the Sean Crawford strip fumble recovery as Michigan State is going into the end zone to make it 21-14. He strips the ball at literally the half-yard line, then jumps up, and the running back tries to jump on it, misses it, and he gets on the fumble. And then Notre Dame proceeds to go 80 yards. And so instead of Notre Dame leading 21-14, it's 28-7, and the route is on. And that game was basically the catalyst for Notre Dame making a run in the middle of October. It's like, okay, we won on the road at night against a team that's given them trouble, and they did it in what turned out to be dominating fashion, but it didn't have to be. If Michigan State scores and goes 21-14, that's a close game, and then who knows what happens from there. But as it turned out, 14-point swing, it turned into a blowout. So that sort of thing doesn't happen very often. So Sean Crawford, strip fumble recovery at the half-yard line against Michigan State.
It's a good play.
Momentum
turner.
Had to mention my guy.
You did. It's 3 years in a row. I think he's won an award.
Is it? No, he couldn't have won an award last year.
It was an injury that hurt the team the most.
Oh, I'm gonna give him an award next year.
I think I'm gonna change the name from Sports Center Play of the Year. I feel like that makes us sound like old men, not like the Alvin Mack Player of the Year trophy doesn't either. But
gotcha.
I think it needs to be like YouTube or like Vine rewatchable play or something. I don't know. I'll talk to demographics about that for next season.
Okay.
I feel like we're old guys. Sports Center Play of the Year. All right, what's next? Oh, the Andy Reid honors. This is my favorite one of the year for coaching gaffe of the season. I'm going to give mine to a whole season-long gaffe, which is USC special teams. I'm not going to go deep. You can just listen to any episode. Just pick one. Pick one from this season, and you could hear me talk about John Baxter and USC's garbage special teams. They cost him field position all season long. It probably cost him games. And USC special teams is a season-long gaffe. So suck on that, John Baxter.
I'm going to say there's no single thing that really blew it for Notre Dame.
Do you want to know what last year's was? It's my favorite ever.
It was Brian Van Gorder.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't?
No.
What was it?
It was throwing the ball 38 times in a hurricane.
That's right. That's funny. That's fun.
See, that was a good one.
No, for me, it's the lack of preparation going into the Miami game. I mean, that team was not ready for what they were running into, and how could you not be ready? Like, how do you not have them prepared for the fact, like, hey, Miami's going to be pretty fired up for this game, so you should be, on your P's and Q's.
Bring your A game.
Yeah, and that didn't happen. So
let's not come out throwing the ball 40 times.
It's a coaching failure. That's what it is. So 41-8. Congratulations.
Way to go, guys.
Yep.
All right, here we go. This is the Trojan Horse Award. You want to blame what happened on this season on one person. Who are you going to blame it on? And I think this is going to be the first time we have a repeat winner of the same award. Last year's was Clay Helton for not starting Sam Darnold. And this year's is Clay Helton for just being Clay Helton. I have no specifics no real specific moment I want to hang my hat on. I just think the fact that this team could be playing in the college football playoff right now, if all they had to do was beat Washington State. That's it. That's all they had to do. they couldn't do it. Also,
Oh.
am I back?
You're back.
What was the last thing I said?
Hello?
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 Hello? Michael?
Hello? Hello?
Hello?
It says I'm there.
I hear you.
Hold on. Do you hear me now?
I've heard you the whole time.
You can hear me now?
Whole time.
Okay. Yeah, what was the last thing I said
Do you hear me?
before I bounced? I can hear you.
Oh, okay, good. I can hear you. The last thing you said was Clay Helton blew it
All right, why don't we just
against
start
Washington
over
State.
on Trojan Horse Award? That's
Yeah.
easy. It's an easy marker.
Yeah, so you were just talking about Clay Helton, how all they had to do was beat Washington State.
Yeah, I'll just start over because it's an easy, like,
Okay.
the Trojan Horse. All right, here we go.
Okay.
Need a little silence here. All right, the next award is the Trojan Horse Award for the person you want to blame this season on. This year's winner is the same as last year's. Last year's winner was Clay Helton for not starting Sam Darnold. And this year it's Clay Helton for just being Clay Helton. I have no specifics I really can come with this. There's no real moment that I think makes me the most mad. It's just the whole season of close games, losing to Washington State, not being in the college football playoffs when you have a powder puff schedule. Like, it's fine to lose to Notre Dame when they're ranked third, whatever. But the rest of these garbage Pac-12 teams you need to beat. You can't play close games with Western Michigan. You can't play close games with, I don't even who, Washington State. Well, they lost. Yeah, so you can't play that close game. You can't play, Cal was close for a long time against Oregon State for a while. You just can't do it. You just can't do it. Clay Helton, you're the man in charge. You're the problem.
I'll tell you why he should be the person.
Mm-hmm.
Because clearly there was a formula to beating Notre Dame and not allowing them to run all over you. And Miami figured it out. Stanford figured it out. And Clay Helton did not figure it out. So, because the thing that clogged up Notre Dame is Miami and Stanford played them differently on defense than everyone else did. They didn't play them the way USC did, and they didn't play them the way NC State did. And consequently, it went different. They could have just said, hey, Brandon Wimbush, to you. But they didn't. Josh Adams ran for 200 whatever yards, and that got him beat. So that's why you could blame him for that. Word up.
Greg, Notre Dame.
So the GOAT.
The fall guy.
The fall guy. I don't know. It's there's no real fall. I mean, look. It's hard to say. It's hard to say the quarterback because he accounted for 30 touchdowns. I mean, the guy scored 30 touchdowns. That's no, throwing and passing. That's no small thing. But
who's ever won this award? Just throw that out there.
What's that? What did you say?
I said I don't think a player has ever won this award.
It's a player. Oh, if he could just complete a post. He missed an opening play touchdown against Georgia. he missed an opening drive touchdown against Miami. And he was 11 for 28 against Stanford in a game that they were ahead in the fourth quarter. It has to be him. It has to be. Just complete a post route. There were so many plays there for them that just weren't completed. And, you know, he played so well in some games in the way he ran the ball. But, you know, they couldn't complete simple routes. And the reason that the teams were able to adjust to Notre Dame and beat them with what they were doing was because Notre Dame didn't have an answer, because they couldn't run simple stuff. They couldn't run a slant. They couldn't run a dig. They couldn't run a curl. You know, they ran a post. St. Brown's running by himself, and he overthrows it. Like, it's just, you know, it cost him.
It's not good.
Nope.
Not good play from your quarterback.
Nope.
Position on the field.
If you're running a spread offense where with a running game like you have, and you're not completing 50% of your passes, I mean, come on. What's going on? we need better.
Fair.
We need better. 55%. Just complete the deep balls, and Notre Dame is in a different place right now.
All right, this is the Matt Saracen Award to improve the most over the offseason. Greg, who is Notre Dame's player who needs to improve the most?
It's the same person. Complete a
Same
post.
person. They just fall right into each other.
If I knew that he could complete a post route, I would sleep better tonight. If I went to bed and someone told me, like, hey, you know, he's still going to have trouble with precision passes, but his deep ball is going to be the best part of his passing game, I would be like, you know what? I'm going to go to bed and I'm going to sleep sound. But I don't know that's going to happen, and so I will not sleep sound. I will be concerned about it. Just complete 58% of your passes, and we'll go to the playoffs. Complete it. Just do it.
USC.
Do it.
Who's coming back and who's leaving?
Right.
So the obvious answer would be quarterback Jack Sears if Sam Darnold leaves. But that's no fun because he doesn't play, and that's super obvious.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going with a limb here. I'm going to say Josh Follow. He's a freshman tight end. He got 2 touchdowns. He had a big play against Stanford to ice the game. If USC can get plays to him, I think the offense will be good with whoever's at quarterback, because you know Pittman's going to be good.
Mm-hmm.
You got Trayvon Sidney and the other guy
Tyler Vaughn
coming back and was back. I don't know. Stephen Carr's good. Malapie is supposed to be all right. Akisa Jaguar might still be kicking around. Position players. The offensive line will all be better because there's freshmen, so that's good. That's good. They can't be much worse than this year. The D-line, maybe one of those guys I could have picked. Linebackers are all fine because Porter Gustin will be back, so he's supposed to be good. The DBs or whatever. So, yeah, I'm going with the tight end, and I love tight ends, so I think that's on brand for me. Have a day, Josh Follow, next season. They need you. They need you.
All right. We're going to the next one, right?
No, who's – oh, yeah, we did. Sorry. I forgot Brandon Wimbush went back-to-back awards. All right, here we go. The big ones. The big 3. This is what you came for. The Alvin Mack Trophy for Defensive Player of the Year. Greg, who is Notre Dame's Defensive Player of the Year?
So Notre Dame had their award show on Friday. And
how'd that go?
I mean, fine. I don't know. It's awards. But they gave this award to Niles Morgan.
Okay.
Which I think it's insane. Like, I was talking to somebody on Twitter. Like, I would have had him fifth if I was ranking. You know, um,
Wow.
yeah. Like he didn't lead in any category. He didn't have any great plays. So I don't know. It was a weird thing. It's weird. I mean, other than wanted to give an award to a captain, but anyway, my winner is Tavon Coney.
Devon Coney.
Devon Coney, yeah, linebacker. So he led the team in tackles with 99 while sharing time, by the way. He led the team in tackles with 99. He led the team in tackles for loss with, I think it was 13 and a half. I know he led the team in tackles for loss. And he was second on the team in sacks. So, and he was generally, I mean, when you factor in, the second half of the season, I mean, he was playing great. Like I don't remember a game where I thought, oh, like Tavon Coney, like he didn't really come to play today, or he just didn't. He was neutralized. Like he played well, pretty much every week. Shooting gaps, disrupting the running game. I mean, he was huge against Georgia. He was huge against USC. He played well against Stanford and Miami. It got overshadowed by the fact that the offense was messing up. So I mean, to me, I consider Julian Love just because he did so much. He had pick sixes that were very important. They came at key times, but it's Tavon Coney for me. I just felt like he was the best player on the defense. That's what we're going with.
All right, I like it. USC's Defensive Player of the Year, the only first-team All-American for the Trojans this postseason awards circuit, a Sports on Earth first-team All-American, Uchenna Nwosu at linebacker.
Wow.
/ defensive end. He is the Defensive Player of the Year. He made critical plays all year long. He had the giant fourth down stop against Stanford. I think he batted down like 1.5 passes a game, which is pretty incredible for a defensive lineman / linebacker. He always was in the right spot at the right time. The only game he didn't show up for was Notre Dame. He had a big play in Washington State. It's just that the one blemish on the record this season was Notre Dame. Other than that, he was phenomenal. He was always in the right place at the right time. He had big plays, big sacks, big moments, those big batted passes, like I said. He's the guy. He's the All-American. It's Uchenna Nwosu, number 42.
Well deserved.
Well deserved.
Well deserved indeed.
Here we go. Touchdown Jesus, the Offensive Player of the Year. This is good because I like to not give the awards to the same people. You chastised me for that last time we did this.
Mm-hmm.
So it worked out really well this year. So I want to give the offensive MVP to Ronald Jones. He was a third-team AP All-American this year. I think he should have been a little higher, but whatever. Personal preference. He was the most consistent part of USC's offense. If he got going, you knew it was going to be a good game. He's incredible. I think he's underrated, just in general. He's fifth all-time now, I think, USC's all-time rushing list. Going to be sad to see him go. And it's just Ronald Jones, man. The guy's great.
I disagree. It'll be sad.
not for you.
Yeah.
Well, Stephen Carr looks like he'll fit right in.
I am not happy about him, but you got to take the bad with the good.
It's facts of life.
Yeah. No, he's a stud, man.
Yeah, he's great. I honestly, I think if USC had better coaching / play calling, he'd be on like Bryce Love level stats.
Yeah.
Or recognition.
I mean, if they wanted to commit to it, I mean,
and I know why they don't. I get it, but whatever.
That's the thing, man. You put Ronald Jones and Josh Adams' spot, and you're getting similar results, in my opinion.
Yeah. And he got bigger this year to run over people.
Yeah.
Just great job, Ronald Jones. I think he was my favorite player on offense all year long, consistently.
Stud.
Stud. So Notre Dame, touchdown Jesus, the offensive player of the year.
So I'm gonna go Co.
Okay, that's fine.
Because
It's our podcast.
I think that these two guys were pretty much, when one was great, the other one was great, and one was bad, the other one was bad. And so I'm gonna go with Josh Adams and Mike McGlinchey. Because
that's good. They are like a little tandem. I never really thought about that.
Yeah, and I was thinking about that today when I was driving home. Like Mike McGlinchey, you can't find a negative thing to say about the way that he played in their 9 wins. I mean, just, he was an anchor. He was dominant in the run game, opening up holes for Adams. Adams is running through. I mean, just having an historic season. And then against Georgia, Miami, and Stanford, you can pick out a lot of ways where
he was hot trash.
Like, what's going on here, fellas?
To not
like,
mince words.
What's going on? But I think that you can't. What they did in the 9 isn't lost in what they did in the 3. So, I mean, look, McGlinchey is a first-team All-American, like consensus, and people get like a lot of Notre Dame fans give him crap, but come on, the guy, he was a first-team All-American, like
on like every list. But it's not like he's the sports on earth All-American.
Yeah, like it's consensus.
Or college football madness, like Zach Banner last year.
He's AP, AP first-team All-American. Like he did well by the team. So, and I think Adams, the way that he played, I know he played through a bunch of injuries. What he delivered against USC and NC State is just, to me, it needs to be recognized. So I give it to those two guys.
That's good.
Yeah.
That was good. That was a good decision, Greg.
Thank you.
I like how you came up with that.
Thank you.
All right. Since I didn't see it coming. Since USC had the better record, though Notre Dame won the series, let's have USC go first.
Okay.
And the MVP, and then Notre Dame can be the hammer. So I think this one's super obvious. Who USC's MVP of the year, the Paul Crewe Award.
Jack Jones.
After a quarter. Jack Jones. He actually sent me an email. Said, I follow all USC media. I heard it's award season. I am the MVP.
Mark it.
Wait till I become a receiver next year.
That's funny.
No, he's the MVP for being talked about. That's for sure. But no, it's obviously Sam Darnold. USC would be 4-8 if they didn't have Sam Darnold. He made everyone better. He made the coaches, he made their jobs easier. He glossed over some big holes. He won them games in the last minute. He's got a horseshoe up his butt. Like the guy's a winner. The guy's clutch. In the fourth quarters, he's incredible. There was a stat I saw. It was either today or yesterday. I don't remember. Baker Mayfield, there was some stat like how you play against top 25 teams. I'm not sure, like your quarterback rating thing from ESPN or whatever. And Baker Mayfield's against the top 25 was the best. And then number 2 was actually Sam Darnold, which is pretty impressive. I didn't see that coming.
Pretty impressive for a guy having a bad season.
Yeah. So he didn't earn any All-American honors. He was second team All Pac-10, I think.
Okay.
First. I don't know. It was him and Rosen, whatever. So it's Sam Darnold. He's the light of the USC team. He is probably going to go pro. So he should be drafted first. I don't care. I don't care what anyone says. I still believe in Sam Darnold. His team, his management let him down. And if it wasn't for that, he'd still be part of a miraculous season. I'm sorry they wasted you, Sam. I'm sorry.
I'm not sorry. Good for Sam. I mean, it's obvious, I think, now who I'm going to choose for this. I mean, it's Quentin Nelson.
Obviously.
He's the best player on our team. He is. And here's the thing. I was talking about McGlinchey, how in the 3 losses, it's like it was noticeable, the drop in his play. The same was not true of Mr. Nelson. You can go online and you can find a clip from every single loss that Notre Dame had. It's like there's the play that's going on, and the other 4 linemen are just kind of scuffling. And then there's Quentin Nelson on the side just
try it.
Burying some guy, just like tossing people. Like the best play of the year. I could have made this the best play of the year, actually. And maybe I even should have, just because of how impressive it was. There's a clip of the Georgia game where a safety comes on a delayed blitz from the offense's right side, so away from Quentin Nelson. And he comes free, and this guy, he must be thinking, I'm gonna kill this quarterback. And Quentin Nelson takes his set, and he notices him out of the corner of the eye and looks, and he gets over there and he hits this dude. He basically ends his life. Like he's the guy, there's no recovering from it. He just buries him. Just a decleater from the offensive line. And this it was every week. Every single week. I saw a stat on I think on Twitter. I hope I'm getting this right. Something like Notre Dame had 468 dropbacks or something. And Quentin Nelson, like the only thing he gave up was 3 quarterback hurries. No quarterback hits, no holding penalties, no sacks. He gave up 3 quarterback hurries the whole season.
That's pretty good.
Dud. A freaking monster. And I'm sad that he's leaving. Go to your home as a top 10 pick, Quentin Nelson. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to wasted you as well.
Sam Darnold was first team all Pac-12. I had to look it up. I didn't want to be wrong on that.
Okay.
You know who wasn't on the all?
Who? Who'd you say, Michael?
All-American Jack Jones.
Ugh. That hurts my feelings. Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay. It's messed up. Edit that out. Go start over with you know who's not. Go. Start over.
Okay, you ready?
Yep.
Uh-oh. You there?
I'm here.
Okay. So you guys start over with you know who what?
Yeah, just say you know who wasn't.
Okay. You know who wasn't on the All Pac-12 team?
Who's that?
Jack Jones, star of this episode and star of the season. Also an All-American. I'm looking. I don't see him.
Not all conference, but 3rd team All-American.
Marvell Tell was first team. Greg's guy.
That's my boy.
Iman Marshall was honorable mention. I don't see Jack Jones.
That's
Hopefully
phenomenal.
I'm just reading this wrong.
That's phenomenal.
That's classic USC right there.
Not all conference. Yes, all American. Phenomenal.
Michael Pittman was a first team all Pac-12.
Oh my!
I actually had I had a question for you. I was going to ask you this episode. I forgot to do it earlier. Do the independent teams have like an all independent team?
They used to. I remember like in the in like the Lindy's and the Athlon Sports like preseason magazines, like they would have like they would predict like an all independent team like preseason. It's like littered with Notre Dame players.
Yeah, especially now. I can't imagine.
Yeah, like there's like 5. There's like 4.
Someone tried to tell me the guard at someone on the TV. It wasn't like they were talking to me about Army football.
Right.
So the guard at Army was an NFL caliber player, and I just couldn't believe it.
Oh,
I mean, they probably wouldn't let him go pro anyways. Thanks, Obama.
funny.
All right. I think we mentioned. Were there any other Notre Dame All-Americans I missed throughout the podcast?
No, I think it's just the two of them.
Just the two. They were on every list. I looked.
Mm-hmm.
USC had Nuoso, Jack Jones, Ronald Jones, and I think that was it. I don't think Darnold made any teams. All right, so we got bowl games coming up. Next week, I don't know what we'll do. It'll be something fun.
Something fun.
Something fun. Like I'll cook something up this week.
Okay.
And I think that's it. I'm sure Greg's gonna have many an article to write. Oh, any other fun, exciting stuff for the Notre Dame banquet? USC hasn't done theirs yet.
Drew Tranquil's coming back.
Drew Tranquil's coming back.
That's a big deal.
I thought he was a senior. Didn't he walk out on senior day?
He did. Notre Dame does that when it's like there's fifth-year guys. So if you're eligible for a fifth season, you still come out for your senior day just in case.
Okay.
So some guys have 2 senior days, basically.
Good for him.
Yeah.
You can play rover backer or whatever they called it.
That's right.
Cover linebacker. I don't know.
Yep.
All right. Any USC stuff? I haven't really seen much. It's just the All-American stuff. It was just hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And I keep getting Tyler Vaughns and Trayvon Sidney confused. We'll have to correct that for season 4.
Yeah, get it together.
All right. I think that's it, Greg. I'm sure we'll have articles for you to read at uhnd.com. Hit him up on Twitter.
At Greg2126.
He's feisty. He's feisty about the schedule. I knew he was mad about it before. I just didn't tell him. Michael Muto on Twitter. Follow us on Twitter, iTunes, wherever you find your podcasts. Like, review, all that good stuff. We appreciate it. And I guess we can't wait to get to bowl games. Fight on.
Go Irish.